Hi, everyone! And so today's book is going to be the true story of the three little pigs. So you've all heard the story from the three little pigs, where it's you huff and you puff and you blow your house down, according to the wolf. But this story is with the wolf's point of view. So it's the wolf telling what was really happening. Here we go. Alrighty. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story. Because nobody has ever heard my side. I'm the wolf. Alexander T. Wolf. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think that you were big and bad too. He's saying that it's not his fault he eats all those cute little things, and look at that. That's what we eat for dinner, huh? He's all, well, if those were cute, maybe we'd be mean and big and bad. I love this. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is wrong. The real story is about a sneeze, achoo, and a cup of sugar. Those are the two things. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. He built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind would build their house out of straw? Okay, boys and girls, what is straw? What's it like? Yeah, I bet you some of you are saying like it's like grass or hay, and it's just really flimsy. It doesn't hold things together. Is your house made out of straw? I hope not. So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to walk into somebody else's house, so I called, "Little pig! Oh, little pig! Are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar that I needed for my dear old granny's cake. But that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and achoo! And I sneezed a great sneeze. What happened when he huffed and he puffed? And he blew the house down. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of that pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. It had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying in the middle of all that straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. If you walked home and there was a big cheeseburger sitting on your table, would you eat it? That's what he's asking. Do you really think that's what happened? This is his side of the story. Well, I was feeling just a little bit better. But I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not had built his house of sticks. Now think of sticks. They're like the little branches off of a tree. There's his house. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Ding dong! And nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in? He yelled right back, Go away, Wolf! You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I told you this book is funny. I just grabbed that doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth. But the sneeze was a great big sneeze. Achoo! And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing I could do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. Seconds. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little bit better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and the second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family because, well, he built his house of bricks. Now, I know I have bricks on my house. Do any of you have bricks on your house? That's definitely a good, strong way to build your house. I knocked on that brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here! Wolf, don't bother me again! Well, that's just not very polite, according to the wolf. Talk about impolite! He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, And your old granny can sit on a pin! Now, I'm usually a very calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. So instead of trying to break the house down, he says he's doing it because he just wants to get back at him for saying something mean about his granny. The rest, as they say, is history. So now they show a newspaper and how he's going crazy out there, and it's titled Big Bad Wolf. And it's talking about how he ate all the pigs and I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. That's the pig's version. The newspaper reporters found out that about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going around to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big, bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. And framed means that you didn't do it, but everyone finds details to make it look like you did. So you're innocent, but somebody says you're guilty, so they make you prove it. And, well, maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? What do you guys think? Is that the real story of the three little pigs? Or is the one that you all heard before the real story. It's such a fun one. So it's called Perspective or Point of View. And this is from the wolf's point of view. Remember how sometimes when you get upset with somebody, and I always say, well, what happened? And then we talk to your friend, and I ask them, well, what happened what do you think happened? And your stories are different. That's what's happening here. They're hearing two different sides of the story. I don't know. Which one do you think is the real story? I hope you're having a great day, and we'll be back later for another story. Bye-bye.